As we listen to his words together.
Amen.
In Jesus' name.
Amen.
We read 21 verses today, and it's intention that we read it. 21 verses of the third chapter of Genesis. It all started with the sin, the earth, the forbidden fruit, that's Adam and Eve. And after eating, God came down. Something strange happened to them the moment they finished eating. The Bible says their eyes were opened and they knew they were naked. They knew shame. This is suggesting that if they knew they were naked, it means that a garment was taken off them. I call it a garment of glory. It was a garment they've been wearing in that garden since they were created and placed there. And this garment was taken away from them. They realized they were naked. I don't know who did. I suspect the woman, the one who went to the bush to get some fig leaves. You know, women are good at sewing. She quickly pieced fig leaves together to cover their nakedness. It was a makeshift idea. I think it must have been a very, very bad thing to see themselves naked. They've never seen themselves like that before. The glory of God was thick upon them. And so they went, they took the leaves, they strung it together, they covered their nakedness. Not finding it sufficient, they went to hide. If the fig leaves were sufficient, they would not be in hiding. When they heard that God was coming, they went to hide in the bushes in the Garden of Eden. There must have been quite a sight when they reappeared before the Father at his beckon. He called them, he saw them. I think it must be the first time they really would know what they lost. God was still clothed in glory, and they used to wear the same apparel. Can you imagine it? The same thing that was covering God was what used to cover them. But now, instead of this glory that covered God, they were having fig leaves all over them. It must have been a sorry sight for them, and it must have been something that broke the heart of God. He gave them curses. We don't want to talk about the curses. But then in his mercy and compassion, because all of the judgment of God is always soaked in mercy, what did he do? He covered them. He gave them a garment made with animal skins. The Bible calls it tunics. Enough to cover their shame, enough to cover their nakedness, enough to give them warmth against the weather. God clothed them. It must have been a better kind of garment compared to what they were wearing. None of us can compare leather jackets to fig skirts or fig t-shirts. There they were in leather jackets. I used to have a leather jacket once, and every winter I love to put it on. When you put this leather jacket on, the winter stays outside. So it must have been quite comfortable for them as they put on their leather jacket and they started to enjoy the level of life unto which they were reduced by sin. They were having fun. But then, that was not the idea of God. The leather jacket God gave unto them was supposed to be an in-between. It was a garment God wanted them to wear while he was preparing a return to their glory. God wanted them to wear again their garment of glory. But he gave them the leather jacket. And he sent his son, and his son died, all in the process of returning man back to the garment he lost. But then, we got used to the garment. And that is the problem here. We got used to the garment. You know, we are very innovative, being in the image of God. We can create. Some of us made nice, trendy jackets of leather. Some of us started to make hats and all kinds of fashionable things from leather. We became a leather people. Remember, leather was animals' clothing, borrowed from animals for man. The desire of God is that man, who is the head of the chain, man who should have dominion over all things, should be clothed in his own glory. But then here we're wearing leather. And we've been wearing leather since. And Jesus came with his own blood. He purchased back for us a certificate to go back into the storehouse of God and pick again our garment of glory. But because we're so used to leather, he keeps on beckoning to us, come and pick your garment of glory. But we are so used to leather. We're wearing leather. and we are still wearing leather. I don't think it pleases the Lord. It's not justifying the death and the resurrection of the Lord Jesus Christ. And leather is no way comparable to the garment we lost. Oh, leather represents, as far as I'm concerned, all forms of religious forms that was designed to cover shame for a while. Oh yes, we did it. From the moment in the Bible when the Bible says and men began to call on the name of the Lord, we've been wearing leather. All the attempts all over history, when God beckoned back to his children, we have not obeyed. From the day of the resurrection of Jesus, men have always gone back to leather. We went to leather in Roman Catholicism. We returned to worship and religion. We left that which God is beckoning us to, a personal relationship with him. He wanted us to relate with him, to wear the same garment with him like we used to be clothed in the same outer garment of God like it was in the first garden. But we've not been able to do that. Every time he reintroduces us to the glorious garment we lost, we go back and we pick our leather. Oh, when in 1517 Martin Luther started this revolution, history must have thought that man will go back to the cloth of glory. But even the Lutherans returned to religion. And again, wearing leather. All the way to Methodists in the days of Wesley. All down the line onto the Pentecostals. And I thought, reading history, knowing what happened when the Pentecostals came, we thought that we were going to start to wear the garment of glory again. But alas, even the Pentecostals are back into their leather jackets. Yes. We started picking titles. We started making structures. Men started to buy jets. We started worshiping mammon. We've forgotten what it used to be like. We've forgotten relationship with God. We're no longer talking about personal relationship with God. We're talking of superstars, people who sell oils, people who have anointing, people who lay hands, standing between God and his people. When Jesus Christ came to divide this wall of partition, men have rebuilt it again. Back in leather jackets. Back in leather jackets. So I'm not surprised that it so pleased the Lord at this season to put us all into little closets. We can't have what we used to have. Here we are. God is beckoning men. Come and pick your garment of glory. The garment of glory we're talking about is not exclusively for Jews. It's not for apostles. It's not for prophets. These are people who should help other people wear their garment of glory. It is for all that believe. He wants to take the leather jacket off our back, want to give back to us a garment of glory. And I think this is a good opportunity for you, my friend, as we are listening here, all of us together, a time to really begin to think and say, am I in leather jacket? How will you answer? You are in leather jacket if you are religious. You are in leather jacket if you're paying tithes to please God. You are in leather jacket if you're going to church to please God. You are in leather jacket if you're doing anything that is religious. You're in leather jacket if you're still dependent on oil. If you are wearing somebody's mantle, you're in leather jacket. If you are touching the soil that somebody walk upon, hoping that some kind of anointing will come upon you, you are religious. That is leather jacket. That is what Christ came to save us from. I'm hoping that as we listen here today, even few as we are, individuals will decide, I want to take off my leather jacket. What do I mean by taking off my leather jacket? I want to get to know God on a one-to-one basis. I feel passionate about it. Even myself, I've discovered that if you stay in a system for long enough, it puts a leather jacket on you. You start to listen to men instead of listening to God. You start to do what men ask you to do instead of asking God what he wants you to do. I think God is finished with all that. God is calling individuals, come close to me. Let me tell you the reason for which you were created. Come close to me. Let me tell you why I made you in the first place. It's when you know why you were created, you have the vision of God for your own life, and you are passionate about it. That is when the leather jacket comes off your back. Until then, we may continue to wear it. So let nobody say to me that God does not know what is happening to us right now. Let nobody say to me that God does not know that some of us are locked in Ibadan when we want to be in Lagos. Let nobody say to me that some of us want to go to Bodija, somebody want to be in UI doing his thing, you want to do your WAEC. Let nobody say to me that God doesn't know. And let nobody say to me he doesn't have a plan for this season. I think it is his own way of calling us all together. We can't even talk of going to America, can we, like we want to? We can't even discuss it. Here we are in this house together, friends. All of us being beckoned to by God. Come close. Come hear from my mouth my reason for creating you. So that by the purpose I will give you, by the passion with which you will chase it, you will take away from your back the leather jacket of religion and you will wear that garment that was made of glory, made to size. I say to you, if you find yourself putting it on, it's the most fitting garment you will ever wear. Warmer, more comfortable, more fashionable. It deletes shame. It removes inadequacies. It places you on the pedestal of dominion for which you are created. It's something to pursue. It's something to be passionate about. That you will stop to be something tossed here and there by the doctrine of men. You will know why you are here. You'll be able to pursue it with passion. You'll be the most beautiful you can ever be. Clothed in God's glory. There is no shame. That's why I call us today as individuals to pray. Lord, I have decided. No more religion. I really want to know you. I want to take off my leather jacket completely. I want on my back the garment you made for me. My garment of glory. Shall we bow our hearts and pray? And I'll be asking Mommy to pray for us. I want you to pray like a woman who is laboring. I want you to pray passionately for all of us as if you are all our mother, because you are. To pray for yourself and pray for us and say, Dear Father, take off our leather jacket. Take away the pretense. Take away the religion. Give us that garment that removes an inadequacy, within which nobody can sin. Dear Father, deal with us in mercy. Shall we pray?